Fisk. There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run.
I can only relate to a World Series as I viewed it as a kid, and I think that you're a kid the rest of your life when the World Series times comes around.
Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep to left. This may do it. Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Ford Field to win the 1960 World Series.
It was just something that you dream about in your whole life. As a kid, you're growing up in the whole bit. You always put yourself in that position. I'm going to hit a home run with the bases loaded in the last of the ninth or something. Well, it's something that finally came true for me. It just happened.
Jackson with 4 runs batted in. It's Yankees lead 7-3. It's a fly ball to center field and deep. Reggie Jackson has hit his 3rd home run of the game.
Good teams don't get in the World Series. Only the great teams get there. You're not a great team until you arrive, even if you lose or get beat with a bad bounce. Nothing matters unless you win.
Great World Series heroes. The men who made it happen.
The Men Who Made It Happen is sponsored in part by Castrol Motor Oil for today's smaller cars.
Yesterday's engines didn't have to work hard to power the average car. Today's smaller engines don't have it so easy. They rev higher and work harder. That's why there's Castrol. Even at high revs, Castrol doesn't suffer a significant loss of viscosity. And that's important, because if you make things too hard on your engine could make things hard on you. Castrol, engineered for smaller cars.
Get your Castrol at any one of 6 convenient U-Save auto parts stores.
The world's greatest arcade video games are now the world's greatest home video games. They're only from Atari, and only for systems from Atari, which means that when you play them on an Atari home video game system, you'll see amazing graphics, like this. Thrilling action, like this. It also means that if you try to play them on anything but an Atari system, you'll see something like this.
It's Zody's fabulous dollar days. Hi, I'm Deborah with the news you've been waiting for. Here are some of the items $1 will buy at Zody's. 4-action light bulbs, Fabergé shampoos or conditioners in 15-ounce sizes, ever-ready batteries, 4 size C or D, gold tone photo frames in your choice of 5 by 7 inches or 8 by 10 inches. $1 each buys famous Mattel die-cast metal cars. And as a special bonus, get 200 Mr. coffee filters. Your net cost after rebate is only 50 cents. At Zody's, membership is not required. Come save for yourself.
The Newbury Park Optometric Center tells us that if it weren't for their ad in the GTE Yellow Pages, they wouldn't have about 70% of their business. So, like Newbury Park Optometric, why don't you take a nice big ad in the GTE Yellow Pages and watch your business grow.
Hi, everybody. I'm Len Berman, and welcome to Great World Series Heroes. If you're a serious baseball fan, you know Carlton Fisk is one of the game's best catchers. He's been an all-star 9 times. But if you don't know that, you may still know Carlton Fisk for one perfect swing of the bat. It happened in 1975, and it climaxed perhaps the greatest World Series game ever played. Carlton, your Boston Red Sox team at the time was an underdog to Cincinnati's Big Red Machine, and I think you caught the fancy of the entire country, perhaps because few people thought you would win it.
Well, we were underdogs going into the season, seeing we had so much basically unproven talent at the major positions. Going into Oakland, we weren't supposed to beat Oakland. They were supposed to beat us, but we beat them 3 in a row. And it seemed as though that once we entered the World Series, that the crucial part of getting there was over. So I thought we were much more relaxed against the Big Red Machine than maybe another club would have been. Maybe a more experienced veteran club would have been. And as it turned out, in a lot of people's eyes, the 75 series was one of the greatest series ever played.
No question there. Now the Sox started well with a Louis Tiant shutout in the first game, followed by a tough 9th inning defeat in Game 2. But still tougher was a 10th inning loss in Game 3 involving a heatedly disputed call. A call not to be forgotten by Boston fans, by manager Darrell Johnson, but most of all, not forgotten by Carlton Fisk.
Well, I still, remain quite sure and quite adamant in my mind that the play was an interference play. I don't think that anything's going to change my mind as far as that goes. There was Armbruster pinch hit to bunt. He bunted the ball that bounced up in front of the plate. I was going to make a play at second base. He was backing into me, and I had to back up and made a throw that went into center field. It was a one-run ball game at the end, where they ended up winning. So the most important variable in any game, and especially World Series game, where emotions and run so high, the intensity runs so high, that the human element is probably one of the biggest factors in determining a game like that. And umpires are human, players are human, players make mistakes, and, umpires, I think, make mistakes.
The man ran into him with the thing. He was interfering, and you went to call it. You tell me what you were calling then when he did it. On a play like that, I'm telling you, the man interfered with that man on the play. I'm telling you, I want to see a man down here. Come here. You mean to tell me that you can't help him on a play like that when he hasn't even touched the ball? And the man was interfering with him? Listen to me, there's no interference when a ball is hit and the catcher goes for the ball and the batter tries to get out of the box. And the batter tries to get out of the way. He was all over the catcher. Now, when the batter comes out of the box after hitting the ball and the catcher makes a play, there is no interference. I'm going to tell you something. That's not the way the play went. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you one thing. I don't know what you're going to make a ruling on that, but I want you to explain exactly what you were looking at when you called the play. Okay, the guy, the ball was hit. He was moving for the ball, and the runner was moving to first. The runner was all over the catcher in there. I can't help that. It happened right there. I'll tell you one thing. It's a loud operation.
An argument that may never die in the minds of the fans, now becoming emotionally involved in this series. Okay, Carlton, after that loss, the Sox came back to win the next night before another loss put you one game away from elimination. Then back to Boston, and 3 days of a rain delay before clear skies and a full moon set the stage for an incredible 6th game.
In Game 6, we started off like we had in 4 of the previous 5 games with runs first. We jumped up on top 3-0 in the first inning with Fred Lynn's home run. But then as the game went on, it was like it was the reverse feeling, that special feeling that we thought we should have. It was like it was being buried. And then they scored 6 unanswered runs. We were facing elimination until the 8th. And Bernie Cabo, maybe one of the strangest persons on our team at the time, with a full moon shining, he hit a 3-run homer. As a result, it changed the whole atmosphere in the ballpark. All of a sudden, the ballpark became alive. There was a lot of noise, a lot of buzzing, it was like a beehive, really. Whereas in the middle 4 or 5 innings, it was, you could have heard a pin drop in the aisle. When we got that far, the momentum had switched back to us after they had won Game 5 in Cincinnati. And we thought that we were going to win the ball game. And we had a chance in the bottom of the 9th with bases loaded and nobody out. We had a fly ball to left field with Denny Doyle on third base, and Foster made the catch and made a good throw to home for a double play. And we didn't score a run, which would have eliminated any call for an extra inning. Strange set of circumstances. I came up in the 12th. I had a real good feeling. I don't know how, I wouldn't call it strange, but I had a real positive feeling. And I even mentioned it to Fred Lynn, who was on deck at the time. I said, Freddie, I'm going to hit a ball off the wall. I want you to drive me in. And 2 pitches later, I hit a ball that was above the wall and hit the foul pole. And I knew that I'd hit the ball well enough to go over the wall. And I was just trying to persuade the ball to stay fair. And that's what I was doing. I was yelling at the ball, stay fair, and waving my arms And it did stay fair. I got sort of upset when the fans were coming on the field as I was rounding second base and rounding third base, and I felt offended that at that moment, this was my moment, this was my team's moment. It was our moment to share. I didn't think it was fair for the fans to share in the moment immediately.
Well, it's certainly an historic moment, and that it crowned perhaps the grandest of all World Series games. Some people may actually think Carlton Fisk won the series with that homer, but of course Cincinnati won it with a 4-3 win in the final game. Think it fair to say, Carlton, that Game 6 took a bit too much out of the Sox?
You know, it's difficult to say how much, but I think we'd all be fools to say that it didn't have some effect on how we played in Game 7.
Thank you, Carlton. His homer may not have won a World Series, but it won the hearts of fans everywhere. Next, we'll talk to a man also famed for a home run, which actually did win a World Series.
In Colombia, South America, it is a tradition to celebrate the Day of the Farmer. To celebrate for men like Juan Valdez, who for centuries have gone to the fields to pick by hand only the coffee beans that are ready, because it is their dedication to the heritage of Colombian coffee that makes it the richest coffee in the world. And that is worth celebrating.
Yesterday's engines didn't have to work hard to power the average car. Today's smaller engines don't have it so easy. They rev higher and work harder. That's why there's Castrol. Even at high revs, Castrol doesn't suffer a significant loss of viscosity. And that's important, because if you make things too hard on your engine could make things hard on you. Castrol, engineered for smaller cars.
Available at Ralph's, where you can switch and save. Castrol GTX motor oil, now 99 cents.
The Commerce Body Shop tells us that if it weren't for their ad in the GTE Yellow Pages, they wouldn't have about 50% of their business. So, like Commerce Body, why don't you take a nice big ad in the GTE Yellow Pages and watch your business grow?
On some airlines, you give up a lot to get a low fare.
I found a low fare.
Great. But you have to change planes twice?
Arrive at 3 a.m.
Some low fare.
But on American Airlines,
We're giving you our best.
With low Super Saver fares on every flight.
Everywhere we fly in the U.S.
With full service all the way.
all this.
And a low fare, too.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
For 16 years, Bill Mazeroski, the captain of the Pittsburgh Pirates, earned distinction as baseball's finest fielding second baseman. But one swing of the bat earned him even greater fame because it beat the awesome New York Yankees in the 1960 World Series. Bill, the Yankees were supposed to have all the power in that series, but it was the Pirates who won the first game with a home run.
Well, yes, we won 6-4, and I hit a two-run homer in the first ball game, which everybody seems to have forgotten. But then they come back and beat us 16-3 and 10-0. Then we happened to come back and won a close game again, and another close game, and both in New York. We brought them back to Pittsburgh, and they come back and they beat us 12-0. They just romped us again. But then in the last game, we got kind of lucky and finally scored some runs.
4 quick runs made it appear that the Pirates might pull off a great upset. But the Bronx Bombers inevitably surged ahead on a 3-run homer by Yogi Berra. Jump Yogi, but no joy in Pittsburgh. Later, 2 more Yankee runs put the feisty Pirates down 7-4, apparently finished in the 8th.
Danny Murtaugh, our manager at the time, said, don't get your head down. We've played a great series. We have nothing to be embarrassed about. Keep your head up and keep battling, and we'll just see what happens. And I think that kind of picked us up a little bit and made us feel pretty good. Bill Verdon hit a ground ball to shortstop where Tony Kubek was playing. It's a routine double play ball, but the ball took a bad hop and bounced up and hit Tony Kubek in the throat. And naturally, it turned out not to be a double play, and it certainly helped. And then another big play in that same inning was the ground ball to first base, and Coates was on the mound, and he didn't cover first base. Clemente beat it out for for a base hit that brought Hal Smith to the plate. And with 2 men on at that time, and we were still 1 run down, and Hal Smith hit a home run. And we went 2 runs ahead, and at that time, I kind of figured that we had the Yankees beaten.
But to set the stage for our hero, the Yankees obligingly struck back in the 9th to tie this crazy game 9-9.
I was leading off the bottom of the 9th. I had no idea of trying to hit a home run. I didn't want to hit a home run. I just wanted to get on base, hit the ball hard somewhere. When I hit it, I thought I got a chance to get that ball over Yogi Berra's head. He's out in left field. So I started running hard, just hoping it gets over his head. And when I got to second, I saw that the umpire gave me the circle that had gone out. I just kind of went crazy, and I never hardly ever showed my emotions in a ball game before, but this time I couldn't help it. I started jumping and screaming, and all I could think about was, we beat the Yankees. We beat the great Yankees.
It is every boy's fantasy. A home run in the last of the 9th to win the last game of the World Series, and only Bill Mazeroski grew up to do it. But that's what October is all about. A once-in-a-lifetime chance to make a dream a reality.
Just once in a lifetime, a man knows a moment, one wonderful moment, when fate takes his hand. And this is my moment, my once in a lifetime, when I can explore a new and exciting land. For once in my lifetime, I feel like a giant. I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. For this is my moment, my destiny calls me. And though it may be just once in my lifetime, I'm gonna do great things. And this is my moment, my once in a lifetime, when I can explore a new and exciting land. For once in my lifetime, I feel like a giant. I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. For this is my moment, my destiny calls me. And though it may be just once in a lifetime, I'm gonna do great things.
The Men Who Made It Happen has been sponsored in part by the GTE Yellow Pages.
Watch out, Star Raider. You're flying in the Atari galaxy. We play rough out here. Sure, you have an attack computer and photon torpedoes. Ooh, nice shot, Flyboy. But there's 40 of us, only one of you. Checking the map, Star Raider? We know where you are. Bye-bye, Star Raider.
Star Raiders, the home video game that's only from Atari, and only for systems from Atari.
Yesterday's engines didn't have to work hard to power the average car. Today's smaller engines don't have it so easy. They rev higher and work harder. That's why there's Castrol. Even at high revs, Castrol doesn't suffer a significant loss of viscosity. And that's important, because if you make things too hard on your engine could make things hard on you. Castrol, engineered for smaller cars.
GTX 1040 and 2050, 99 cents this week at Kragen's.
Rogers, your R7 circuit design.
Yeah?
They bought it.
My design?
Can you get it to the plant overnight?
My design? Well, then get me the biggest. Get me the best. Get me the overnight package delivery company with the most people, the most planes, the most fans, the most trucks. The company that can take it to the most places. The company that delivers the most packages.
Eurolator Courier, a giant of the overnight package delivery business.
You get to make one phone call, Spider.
Okay, give me the yellow pages.
The what?
You heard me. The yellow pages.
Here, but make it snappy.
When people need something in a hurry, they head right for the Yellow Pages. And when your business has a nice big ad in the GTE Yellow Pages, customers see it fast. It's a fact. The bigger your ad, the better your chances.
About that trip to Rio? Well...
Once in a lifetime? Well, in the case of Mr. October, otherwise known as Reggie Jackson, once is not enough. In 5 World Series appearances, Reggie helped the A's and Yankees win 4 times, twice as Series MVP. Mr. October has become perhaps the most celebrated trade name in sports. Reggie, can you tell us who came up with it?
I think Thurman Munson was kidding in jest when he said it in 1977, and I had the good World Series, and it caught on from there and has stuck with me ever since. But Munson was the one that put it on me.
Reggie, do you like it?
It's a compliment. I like it.
Okay, Reggie, the last time an American League team won a World Series without Mr. October was back in 1972. The weird thing about that was actually your ball club, the Oakland A's.
You know, I was missing one. You never know whether you're going to get back again. However, the team was there.
There because of this, a daring double steal which beat Detroit in the final championship series game, but also forced Reggie Jackson to watch the A's World Series victory on crutches.
That wasn't really enough to make me feel good, but I helped the ball club get into the World Series, and then when we won, I felt down that I really wasn't a part of it or didn't participate. And I remember going to spring training the next year saying, I hope we can get in the World Series again in 1973 because I would like to play in a World Series, and I hope you guys can get me to the series again. And we got there against the Mets, and things worked out very good.
But things didn't look so good after Game 5 in New York. With the Mets leading 3-2, the A's would have to win their last 2 games back in Oakland.
In the locker room before the game, Gene Tennis walked by me at that time and slapped me on the back, and he said, I was cinching up my pants, and he said, I sure would like to play tomorrow, big guy. We had all odds of going against us. Tom Seaver was pitching that day, and I had a big day. I got 3 hits and drove in a couple of runs, and we won the ball game 3-2.
That tied the series with 1 game left to decide a winner. Oakland scored 2 in the 3rd off John Matlack, and then Reggie applied the crusher.
He hung me a breaking ball, and it was only the 2nd home run we had hit in the series.
Only the 2nd in the series, but the first of 10 homers in 5 series from Mr. October. Reggie also won his first World Series MVP award for sparking Oakland to its 2nd consecutive World Championship. The amazing A's then went on to make it 3 straight in 1974 by soundly beating the Dodgers in 5 games.
We had a great chemistry on the ball club, and meaning that the talent meshed extremely well together. Every ball player on the team complemented each other. We had everything it took to be a great team. We had great defense. We had power in the middle of the order. We had power from both left and right side of the plate. We had great pitching. We had everything a ball club needed to win. We were probably a better ball club in 73 and 74 than the Yankees were in 77 and 78. The difference, I think that the Oakland A ball club had better all-around pitching.
Okay, let's talk about the Yankees. They won a pennant in 76, only to be swept by Cincinnati in the series. George Steinbrenner signed you as a free agent, figuring you could help them win it all, and he was sure right about that one. You were hot in the stretch and hit very well in the championship series, only to cool off in the first 3 games of the World Series against the Dodgers. Then in Los Angeles, you hit a homer in Game 4 and another in Game 5. What happened out there?
I started relaxing on the plate and started again getting myself out of the way and worrying about not doing well. I knew I had pretty good flexibility at the plate, meaning that I could handle just about any pitch because I hit a ball off of the top of the foul pole off Sutton that was way inside and a ball that I usually don't handle.
Only Reggie Jackson may have known just how hot he was as the series returned to New York for Game 6, with the Yankees needing only 1 more victory.
I felt very strong and very fluid and very quick that day. I felt light on my feet, if that makes sense. I felt in excellent shape. I had an outstanding batting practice. Probably 25 swings, probably hit 12, 13 balls in the stands.
And in the game, only 3 swings. After being walked on 4 pitches by Bert Hooton, Reggie took command.
The first home run, ball was hit good, but I just hoped that the ball was hit high enough. I remember hitting on top of the ball a little bit, The second time I came up, Sosa was pitching, and they brought him in as a new pitcher, and he warmed up, and I hoped that he didn't take a lot of pitches because I knew I was right, and I didn't want to waste a lot of time. I wanted to get in the batter's box and swing the bat before they made any adjustments or before they thought about pitching me any different way. And he threw the ball right in my wheelhouse. The last time up against Charlie Huff, I had been fairly successful against knuckleball pitchers. And I had 2 home runs already. I had already tied the record. And I really didn't have anything to lose. I was being cheered on my way to the plate, and Huff threw a ball right out over the middle of the plate. Bingo.
Bingo indeed. Only Babe Ruth had ever hit 3 homers in a World Series game, and every one of Reggie's came on the first pitch. 5 homers altogether and 4 in succession gave him World Series records, the Yankees a World Championship, and perhaps in some way a new lease on life for Mr. October.
It allowed me to relax as an athlete and as a person on and off the field. All I had to do was play. I was given respect and given the thought, or people talked about me, here's a guy who can do it under pressure, here's a guy who can play, here's a guy who has answered the bell, which is a great feeling of relief.
In recent years, Reggie, several major stars have answered the bell in October. Willie Stargell, Johnny Bench, Roberto Clemente, Brooks Robinson, and yourself. What brings it out?
Your teammates look to you to do well. And teams that do well, that play well, become champions, are extremely unselfish. They give a lot of psychological, mental support to the guy that they need or the guy that they look to. And I believe that psychological, human, godly, emotional feeling and support that you get from your teammates is what allows you to play well under pressure, to do what's expected of you or do what's asked of you, over, above, and beyond.
Thank you, Reggie. Every World Series hero needs support. A pinch-hit 3-run homer by a Bernie Carbo or a Hal Smith, or perhaps a weird hop on a double play ball. A controversial call helped Cincinnati win in '75. And another controversial call helped the Yankees beat the Dodgers in 1978. Again, the ruling was no interference. And who should have been involved in that but Mr. October himself? After all, a series hero must not only know when to hit the ball, but also when to get hit by the ball. This is Len Berman. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the series and the argument.